Devara Part 1. Just few more days to go, and we'll have the film on the big screen for us. The trailer is out, the reaction is out. You can check it out, and let's just have our expectations low. It is another commercial film with Junior NTR, and maybe just go in for that. The story looks interesting, but some of the action with the wire work and some visual effects are not that convincing. But hopefully the writing compensates for that, and we don't really notice that much. But anyways, we have a full-on interview or whatever interaction they are calling it of Devara team with Saif Ali Khan, Junior NTR, Janhvi Kapoor, and the director Koratala Siva with the blockbuster director Sandeep Reddy Vanga. I think this way we'll also understand what kind of questions he likes to answer when he answers asks these questions. It's in English, I think, so hopefully do not need subtitles. And if you haven't seen the original video, I'll put the link to it in the description below. Definitely check it out. By the way, the channel membership is on if you want to see such reactions early, and some exclusive videos like song reactions. One from this film also I've done. It's available, so consider becoming a member to enjoy that, and that also helps and supports the channel. To know more, click on the join button. Let's go.
Like a general audience, like an outsider, like not outsider, like a general audience, I have a curiosity to know about the film, like, because we have saw a little teaser and a promotional song kind of video, little one. So it gives me a feeling like 300. Why? Because I've seen one or two special properties and one background, and a lot of fears, obviously, NTR. And so I want to know more. So who's going to...
I always like when a filmmaker interviews a filmmaker and the actors and all, because his perspective of asking questions will be very different. And I think maybe for RRR they did it when he interviewed Rajamouli. I have reaction to that also on the channel. Check it out. That's always they are asking as a filmmaker, so their questions are related to filmmaking. When a journalist or someone asks questions, they have some other perspective of asking questions. But me as a buff, I want to know all these things, and I know he will, try to get that out of them instead of, because he wants to know that. I don't think he's like, they've given him notes and according to the notes he'll ask them. Maybe they have, I don't know. But what I feel is he's not that a kind of a guy. Like, I'll ask what I want to ask. And if he wants to do it, it's not they just gave him money and he did it. Maybe NTR asked him and, he did it for him. So I don't know the situation there, but the point is, as a filmmaker, there'll be some interesting questions.
So I think it'll be better if Shiva starts, because he's the one behind this idea.
It's the most ambitious film I have ever made. Ambitious in the sense, not in the terms of scale, but in the idea itself. So generally, see, from the inception of commercial cinema, fear is always portrayed as a negative emotion. But sometimes I felt that, even fear is very precious. So everyone need to have fear. So, and generally,
that helps control your, primitive instincts. Like, it's fear that stops you from, harming someone else, because there's a fear of law, there's fear of many things in society. So that stops you from doing something wrong. But if that fear is gone, then you become unhinged and you'll do anything. You'll not care about anyone else. So that actually makes sense. I also feel watching this will get a better idea of what they are trying to do with the film.
A hero will be the courage in a commercial cinema to everyone, to a group of people. But I wanted him to be the fear. The men in this world don't understand reason. They understand only fear. So I thought he should be the fear in the film. So with this backdrop, obviously, we'll have that kind of visuals, swords. So that's how the film is being conceived. So you might have felt that, because it's a different world, obviously you'll feel like 300 or Lord of the Rings.
So for me, that was the main idea, which when Shiva narrated, see, in commercial mainstream film, you've always had...
They are not showing Junior NTR.
A protagonist coming in rescue for people.
Just want to say, these such interviews, how many I've seen, I think when they do it in an open place with a lot of people, I think there's AC going on. That AC noise is coming in. So I think with the mic or something in the post they should do to, because audio is very important. It's it should not. But I guess nobody cares. They just want to hear what they're saying.
to give them a lot of courage to move forward. But here it's a very different take.
Okay.
The hero is actually, the protagonist is actually standing against people when there's a lot of courage. So sometimes too much of courage is also bad. So it needs to be a balance.
Oh, that you're saying.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's the idea. If you pack the film with. I mean, see,
Interesting.
sometimes a narration like this can become very preachy. It can become very preachy, but Siva, with the strength he has on commercial movie on this genre, I think he's packed up with a lot of action. So it is Devara is an action drama. Fear being the main platform on which the whole movie is built up. So it's a very new world which we've created. Mentioned when the movie started, it's like it's the forgotten coastal regions of India. So we've geographically placed it in a very mythical world.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very fictitious world, obviously. But it looks very close to us. It's like a world we've seen before, but it's again something which we haven't visualized before. The characters, the behavioral patterns, the emotions, the drama. It's extremely high on drama and action. So I would probably say that Devara is a action drama.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's like, hearing all that, it's very fascinating ideas, that too much courage is not good. So interesting that hero is against that. So I just hope it's not just a small part of the film and then it's just a typical film, right? Like these things, raise my expectations and then, I get more disappointed. But it sounds very interesting what he has said.
You're playing around fear, then फिर मौका ही मिल गया ना पूरा मार काटने के लिए दोस्त. Then it will be great. I mean, I recently visited South Goa. So there's one part in South Goa. So one
I missed meeting him.
manager came out of the blue and he told about the action episodes how you shot, about the teaser especially. The crescent moon becomes a full moon with that. So should we talk about the action more, since you said like it's completely laced with action and drama?
I mean, I think Saif sir has also been a part of some phenomenal action sequences we've done for this movie.
They shot some incredibly large and violent sequences, and it was great fun doing the action. It's also really raw. There were some huge pelwans from because a lot of the action is about the fights between the heads of 4 different villages that fight for the ancestral weapons, and it's kind of this.
Interesting. So they're kind of giving away a lot, but I'm more interested, so that's good.
Sequences I shot involved, a blood sacrifice to the gods and prayer, and so it was kind of mythologically rooted as well, and then really, physically demanding kind of stuff, and great action sequence. We shot a fight for about 10 days.
10 nights.
10 nights.
And we still didn't get done with it. For another.
The teaser fight?
Is it in the teaser?
Yeah.
I think it's a highlight.
I think it's when you see Saif sir's glimpse.
Yeah. Part of the glimpse.
A part of the glimpse has got that action in it.
Yeah.
But
the running bit?
The running bit is also there. That was shot in.
But the mixture of shooting live in the Goan forest, some amazing locations you found, and patching that up with.
Oh, they shot it in South Goa. Wow.
Studio, you can't even see technically how it's done. Really well pulled off.
Would you rate this as one of your physically most enduring movies you've been a part
of? I think it's been one of the most demanding films for sure. And as
there's a heap of weapons stuck to one mountain kind of thing. The special shot on that. So is it too much of a reveal if you talk about that?
No, I mean it's not a big reveal, but there's a lot which we've.
I like that he said that too much. You are revealing that. See, he's a filmmaker. He understands what to ask. How much should be asked and all of that. So that's good.
We've placed a lot of the story on that as well. There's no deity worship. So there is no belief in God as such. So what they believe is in
steel.
The ancestral, steel.
Like Conan. They believe in
elements. The editing is a bit weird. Like I understand, this is a way of showing that someone else is speaking, but you're showing someone else because their expression is coming. but it's just too like you could have shown two, like instead of just a close up, two of them we see in one frame. So because it's a group discussion, right? It feels off that someone else is talking, but we are seeing everyone else reaction, not them talking.
Which century this is?
This, have you said what time it is? No, in
80s and 90s.
80s and 90s.
This is set in,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, like a little bit of the early 80s and the early 90s or the late 90s.
Okay.
So it's an 80s
That's
and
not
90s,
very
Very remote place.
but a very remote
Yeah.
place where, I mean, I see there are a lot of villages still, especially in South India also, I think it's there in North as well, that they don't worship a god as such. So there are, in Telugu we call them Grama Devatalu.
Yeah.
In Hindi,
Gram Devata.
Gram Devata.
Yeah.
So it's like that. So they worship their ancestral weapons.
Yeah.
So there is no deity worship and such. So for them, that weapons are the most precious.
Okay.
I mean, and they're ready to go to any extent for those weapons.
But whatever
I think we're 6 minutes into the interview, and I've learned more about the film in that 6 minutes than the whole teaser trailers. But that makes sense, right? You want to reveal a lot. I just hope, this is not like maybe they saw that the film is not getting down south. It will, of course, get that buzz, but maybe it's not getting too much buzz with the visuals. So they're trying to use this because it's Sandeep Reddy Vanga, so will be a lot of, it'll get a lot of limelight and all of that. So they're trying to, talk about more of the film and the interesting ideas they are doing, which is not visible in what we saw in trailer teaser.
ritual, you understand that it's a ritual, you're bowing to something. So who you're praying to and all, I mean, it comes through that it is about prayer.
Yes.
And like a kind of tribal group, people will connect emotionally to everything that they're going through because the basic drive is the same, whether it's greed or it's power or whether it's wanting to be the strongest or to control it. In that sense, not to give an example of another film, even a film like Apocalypto
Yes.
sounded like an alien setup, but then when you saw it, it's just like looking at people next door also.
Yeah, exactly.
So connection is there.
Rooted, yeah.
But it's a very interesting visual. The costumes that we wore, the clothes were really
This
basic.
is better. Two people, him talking and looking, his reaction.
Yeah.
And it's almost like tribal pirates, in a way,
Exactly.
this movie. So it's got its own universe, which is always nice, the kind of visual palette and your production designs, Abu sir, and you really presented something that looks stylish and watchable in terms of, visually. And at the same time, emotionally, it's got the strongest score ever because it's about all these basic
Yes, sir.
emotions like fear and power and revenge and
Yeah, I think today audiences, they're liking when you actually take them into a very fictitious world.
So the theaters, right?
Yeah.
The
so-
lights go out and
and then you're in that world and you don't want to come out. So it's, I think it's like, if you actually relate to Batman, Gotham is nothing but downtown Chicago. Or it's Chicago.
Yeah.
But it's Gotham.
Yeah.
So I think there's
I love his references.
a lot of a world play that is happening today in Indian cinema as well.
Yeah.
If you look at movies like Bahubali, or if you look at movies like Kalki, and in a way, even if you look at Animal, so though there are characters which are around us, but after a point of time in that film, you're just with Ran Vijay. You're just in his family. You're sitting in that room in his house. So you just alienate people away from the present atmosphere and just take them into this fictitious world.
Yeah.
So I think that's 15 minutes into Devara.
Yeah.
You will be stuck in that world and you're going nowhere. You'll be there. You'll be in that world we've created.
There's a line between selling and overselling. I'm getting worried right now.
Usually what happens in India, man, whenever we make a period film, some factor will jitter out. इसमें बहुत seamlessly जा रहा है सब कुछ. Costume, your special arms, background, nothing is popping out. That is, I really liked when I saw the first teaser and आपका भी जो teaser आया था. Nothing was popping out. I felt like everything was well balanced. The cinematography and production
They
design.
kept it quite basic, in the sense that if it's on the beach or the kind of village they live in,
Yeah.
it was, you could maintain a look
Yeah.
without risking that, oh, this car or something
Yeah.
can stand out.
I think if you're doing a period film, right? Like if it's in a city, the car, right? The architecture, like the wire lines and all of that. So it becomes kind of an issue. So you have to actually create a set and bring old cars and all of that. There's a business, Some people have all these old cars and they like rent it out when movies need it. That's actually a good business, but they have to maintain all the cars really well.
It's all about the character. See, they don't look very alien.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Janhvi, it's your first Telugu film?
Yes,
Sir, आपका भी first Telugu
And
film?
mine, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it your first?
it is my first, yes.
So, how is the language, lip sync dialogues and all that? How it worked?
That's so
Oh, she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh God.
She was phenomenal.
With the memory and all.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Randy sir used to call me tape recorder. After action, he said, okay, tape recorder on, and da-da-da-da-da-da used to come. But
No, but like,
They live in.
Yeah.
It was, you could maintain a look
the hell
without risking that, oh, this car or
See, they look.
Telugu film?
yes.
So, yeah.
Randy sir used to call me tape recorder. After action, he said, okay, tape recorder on, and da-da-da-da-da-da used to come.
no,
But
but लेकिन sir, I was shocked when I saw her. मतलब कि, ये लड़की आई है बॉम्बे से.
but she's got
क्या पता होगा?
South Indian roots.
हाँ, but
No?
But still, sir, see, speaking in Telugu is sometimes, yeah, obviously, but she was just Ladai.
Was Sridevi from Tamil Nadu or I don't know.
I mean, there was a scene where this woman just went. She went all out. And Shiva was just looking at the monitor and he was just looking at me from there. I was walking, just doing this. I was like, she was fabulous. I mean, I was shocked.
Can you say something nice about me as well?
my day's made. I feel like I can leave the interview now. I don't need to worry about anything.
Sir, I think Hamara camera here has to be experienced in the movie.
Shiva sir told me, he said, don't worry. I said,
mean,
what
but-
about language? What about language? So he said, listen, don't worry. You can speak maybe Hindi or you can speak English, but it's just easy. Just come, just do. Firstly, when I was approached for the film, it was a great honor. I love Hyderabad cinema and I think it's the future. A lot of Bombay actors, I think, would be lucky and excited to be in a big Hyderabad movie.
Sure.
And I was very lucky to get this offer. But I was worried about this thing. And then you said, just turn up. It's going to be an easy experience. Don't worry about anything. He gave me the most passionate narration. Normally, my attention can wander. If it's not a great narration, I start feeling a little sleepy also. I said, rather read. But it was a spellbinding narration, very emotional. And, he came, we were shooting a film in Amritsar. And you must have said, get Saif or something for this role. Yeah, obviously, you must have
It
thought
was a
of this.
mutual choice.
What a
For me, I
compliment.
could never. Somewhere when we wanted this character called Bhaira. So as Saif sir mentioned, see, we don't have names for different clans here. So it is one big hill where everybody is living. So the characters, I mean, like, there's no a particular name for a village as such. So there's like, वो north village वाला है, ये south village वाला है, ये west का village वाला है, और ये east village वाले हैं. So but it was just that. So when we were designing the characters, I think both of us really felt that, who is as powerful as Devara? For Bhaira. So Bhaira needs that kind of
Curiosity.
cutout. So for some strange reason, both of us were looking at each other, and I really love Saif sir in Omkara, and I really felt that.
Actually, Langda Tyagi is a character that comes up, when I saw the trailer also, that it kind of reminded me that, sinister look and that evilish kind of thing.
There is this intensity in him. I mean, though, yes, he really has a funny side of him, which tends to dominate. Look at him now.
All the nice things.
But there is so much intensity in Saif sir, I think that hasn't been captured in movies.
Yeah.
in most of the movies.
Yes, yes. I also personally feel that.
Yes. So, I mean, like, we needed that intensity.
Yeah.
And both of us were like, you know what, I think we should just go approach Saif, sir.
So I said, well, how will I do it? He said, don't worry, just turn up. There's a nice big AC set and I was all this water stuff and I've got these machines and you just sit there and chill and it's going to be a blast. And you know, he was absolutely right. I came there and language. So I said, first day, I had to say these lines to this lady who was playing this part and I was being cued some dialogues and I said, I'll try and get... And the sweat started running down my back and I felt kind of a thrill that I hadn't felt for a long time. I felt I'm working in even though it's our country and it's another language, but that diverse, it was like a new thing for me. I felt I'm speaking and I was panicking because I thought maybe I won't do it properly or I roughly understood what I'm saying. I tried to remember
You remember any line?
I knew you'd ask me this. But if you repeat, I'll repeat. No. But I prepared it. And I did one or two lines, and then they were okay in the beginning, the first line. He said, you won't have to speak much. It'll be one line, second line. But after a few days, he got pretty impressed with how I was doing it. And I got used to the language. Like, you get used to anything after a while if you practice enough. And it's not that difficult also. And then after a while, he said, okay, now do a page. And then suddenly the dialogue started getting longer. And I said, you promised me it'd be one or two lines. And then the assistant would come in the van and say, sir, a dialogue. And I'd say, okay, what? And then he'd go on. And I said, that's 2 pages. And he said, no, you can do it now. Yeah. So it's true, we did it.
Yes, sir.
And he would watch very carefully the lip and he said, it's quite perfect. And the greatest thing is my co-star or the lead who's standing with me, who also concentrated and helped, because a lot of actors, it could have been distracting. But how you have performed really well, despite the fact that I'm, trying to, I'm speaking a language where people are cueing me and I'm, doing that. So it's a patch together, but it works.
It worked.
I feel like especially...
That's interesting, because I always find it fascinating, that on the set, right, we are looking at it as a moment between the characters, but they are doing it with pauses. The camera changes, lighting is changing, so they have to just wait and then come back again in the mood to deliver the second line or do it multiple times. And when he says that, it's like standing there, you dare do that, and then he's taking a pause, the other dialogue is told to him, and I just look at you, and then pause, and the other actor has to still he's telling me this, yes, you'll do what, yeah, and then pause, and then again. That is such a, that should destroy everything. But that's how movies are made. I find it very fascinating.
On this set with Shiva sir, his approach with me was similar to the way that he approached your character. He was so relaxed. And I used to stalk him. If you see our chat, it's just me day after day. Sir, please, can I get the scene? Sir, how will I do it? Sir, please send the dialogues. And he was just like, just relax, just come on set. And I think his ease, and of course, sir's encouragement, just made me feel like, okay, I don't suck. I think I'm doing okay. And
you should actually ask her this question about how she manifested this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still a surprise.
Yeah, I saw some...
I was like, Janhvi, please tell me how to manifest. If I really have to manifest something, how do I do it? How do I manifest that Devara needs to be a super blockbuster hit?
Just say it in every interview ever. Wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror and say Devara is going to be a huge hit and everyone's going to be blown away.
Yeah,
I've
that's it?
started
Is
already.
that simple?
I think so.
Is it that simple?
It worked out for me.
I got information. I don't know whether it's a real information or a rumor. Should I ask you based on that? It's okay?
Are you going to ask me or
the
him
camera
or
is still
her or
running.
him?
Yeah.
Everybody.
You and Sir. And, I heard there's one huge underwater sequence.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Which has come out really, really good. And
It's
that's a... Yeah,
Not
can
the
we talk
rumor.
about that?
Yeah.
I
Out in the
heard you
trailer.
made a separate pool for it in Hyderabad.
Yes.
A huge one.
Till then we had one option of shooting it in Kapoli, because that was one of the biggest pools we had to shoot in Kapoli. And then for some strange reason, we decided to overspend on that movie and create a pool in the studio which we were shooting for predominantly our action sequences. And it was a massive pool because we really had we shot for close to about 35 odd days underwater. Underwater, over the water, underwater, over the water. That's a phenomenal episode which I think will really
So that's a lengthy sequence then,
It
30
is.
days.
It is one of the most key sequences of Devara.
Okay.
I'm guessing the
And again, because
climax.
we're speaking about
I think it's the shark scene, right? Which a lot of people are talking about.
World, which is near the coastal, which is in the coastal regions of India. So we really had a lot of water elements, shoot on water, shoot in water. So we had these big diggers which came in and created artificial waves. We had wave machines. Yeah. We had motor boats, motors fixed into the water to give it the small ripples.
In the pool?
So there was a pool and there was a water tank as well. So we had a 200 by 150 water tank. So it was very high on, as I said, high on action. There are certain action sequences of Devara which will really, which will just sweep you off your feet when you're.
I hope that that happens. I'll also manifest, because why wouldn't you? You're spending your money and you want it to be the best, right?
You're getting killed in the first part, or you go to the second?
That's another thing, I heard, when I heard his story, it was great. There's a young look, there's an old look, and there's all this, exciting action and stuff. And I thought it all sounds great. And then they were shooting, and then the story developed. And I heard from Siva sir that, listen, there's a change of plan now, and we're doing it in 2 parts. And in the second part, your character development is very exciting. This is what happens. And I don't want to maybe give that away, but it's a wonderful thing. So he's not dead.
That's
not
rocking.
Can we ask this? You both are friends, or
that's a lot of revealing.
Relative?
I think
that's a lot of revealing.
We are kind of also. And
that's
like
still a lot of revealing, sir. I think we should not.
Nothing.
I think we should.
Good. Don't say a lot.
There's a strong relationship.
Yeah. There is a very strong relationship. So
ट्रेलर में तो समझ में आएगा होगा ना, मतलब when we see the trailer we'll get to know, I think.
Yes.
उसमें भी hide कर रहे हो, थोड़ा छोड़ रहे हो, sir?
I think there's no point in hiding it. We are like a few days away from release.
Okay. So you're playing wife, like girlfriend, what's happening?
That's a complicated answer. Yeah, it's complicated.
Okay.
In my head, in my character's head, I feel like she oscillates from, oh, we're married and we have kids and everything's perfect, to like, I hate him.
Yeah.
So it's a wide spectrum. It's a complicated answer.
It's a very normal
Finally,
Yes, I guess so.
Nice. Well done, Shivaji.
it's a nice one. But finally, मिलता है कि नहीं मिलता?
सिर्फ पूरा
फिलहाल मिलना चाहिए, तो उनको ही मिलेगा, मिलना चाहिए तो
वो I think
ये मिल रहा है या नहीं मिल रहा है,
पता चलेगा.
is the hero मिल रहा है या नहीं मिल रहा है, तो it's like हाँ, तो
मिलना पार्ट 1 में हो रहा है कि पार्ट 2 में हो रहा है? ज्यादा हो जाएगा?
मुझे खुद शायद पार्ट 2 में ही पता चलेगा. मुझे अब तक पता नहीं.
Okay. So I'm guessing they have some portion of their part 2 they've shot, but I think they're gonna wait for part 1 to really work and then only start to. I hope, man. Fingers crossed.
See, in a world of bees, how to place a girl. See, it's very tough to write Janhvi's character, actually. It's easy to write Devara and Bhaira for me. In this world, how to place Thangam. But she pulled it.
She was fabulous, as I mentioned before. I just can't wait for her character to unveil in part 2, where
women are too strong in the film.
Actually, the general audience
like someone who doesn't listen much.
I hope.
Yes. What sir?
Bhaira sounds like someone who doesn't listen much.
That's Behra.
That's Behra.
That's the feeling of this.
Behra is a brave guy.
Okay. Yeah. Was that what it means?
Yeah. Sir, because of the Sridevi Garu's fan following, the general audience also, not only his fans, there's a curiosity in the audience to see them together.
Yes.
In the Telugu audience, that
there's a connection also.
Yeah. So
there was this photo shoot, which a look test. Such when Shiva first time, even before we started the movie, there was a look test. So and there was this picture of hers which we released, obviously, long back, and she was sitting on a boat and looking into the camera. The moment Shiva showed me, I was like, oh my God, she just looks like Sridevi Garu.
Yeah.
I mean, she's. I mean, in certain angles, she just. Looks like her.
That's too much pressure.
So we tried to capture a bit of that also on camera, but and I don't think it's it's something you can capture in angles. I think it's the way she performs, or sometimes the way she just smiles. It just brings that reminiscence of Sridevi Garu back.
It's weird for me to say this, but I feel that more when I perform and speak in Telugu. I don't know if that makes sense.
Probably.
It just felt more like home to me.
Yes.
Very interesting. Because I think her Hindi delivery is not, it's very one way, you know. It's how many films I've seen, like I feel her delivery of a dialogue is very similar, you know. Maybe she needs to work on her vocals, or you know, different accents, bring different, because she is not actually trying to do kind of different roles, you know. If you see her filmography, she is the one who's not doing just she's actually not doing commercial films. I don't think she has done a commercial film. Commercial as in like big commercial, you know, hero film kind of. She actually keeps doing these roles which are interesting, but they all feel similar to me. So maybe she's right. Like maybe in Telugu, her delivery is different, and you know, the way of saying something, you know, should have effort and not, you know, like I don't know what I'm doing.
Not that, yeah.
What is the runtime of part 1 and what is the runtime of part 2, if at all you want to reveal
I
it?
mean, let's not even talk about part 2.
Okay, part 1
Still
runtime.
don't know what the runtime will be, but
250.
it's a decent runtime. It's about 250, 2 hour 55,
Okay.
2 hour 50. I mean, if you see, I really don't understand this runtime. Confuses me a lot, sir. See, the actual runtime of a film is less.
See, Sandeep asking about that.
I mean, you should not actually. I mean, how long was Animal, sir? 3:15.
3 hour 24.
Okay.
But actually,
So you're basically your eligibility
Look at the Saif's reaction when he said 3 hour 24. Like,
of asking runtime has been taken away from you, sir. You're not eligible to ask about runtimes.
no, happy if films are bigger.
Shorter?
No, bigger because, yeah.
But big cinematic films are
Always,
running
yeah,
long now.
yeah.
It's become people are.
With this many strong characters in the
Yeah,
film.
that's what, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to narrate. When you want to narrate,
Now, if you're going for part 2, I always feel it could be 3 hours, then only 3 hours, then only you'll
So we
be
are
going.
almost touching 3 hours, but we're not touching 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we might be somewhere a little lesser than 3 hours.
if they say 355 or 350, that means remove 10, not 10, maybe 8 minutes of credits in the start and the end. So I think it becomes 240 almost.
3 hours is good, sir, because you'll not lose any show.
We've cracked and water is the toughest,
True, that's what.
especially when you have interactions with it.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay, I think they cut some portion out.
3 hours is good, sir, because you'll not lose any show.
we've cracked and water
Yeah.
is the toughest,
True.
They have coffee now, so they
especially when you have interactions with it.
Yeah.
So it's
You know, the light, the water simulations, the light penetrating into the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
like the people who do Avatar, like they developed their own technology to, you know, do water, and they have like killed it. They have become the best in the world, but that's too expensive.
it's not physically challenging, it's mentally
also brutal.
Yeah.
And Randy sir, I think Ratnavelu.
Yeah.
I mean, Ratnavelu was really an asset for this movie. His cinematography is just.
I have to also weigh in there and say he was such a pleasure to work with.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we got along really well, and some of the lighting and the close-ups he's taken of my character. I don't think it was so nice to be
He
shot.
did not take the liberty of just brightening everything up because it's.
He's killed it.
It's
I
a
used to say
commercial.
he's like
It's
an
an action
Italian
movie, no.
Renaissance painter.
Yeah,
you know?
keep
His light and shadow and the way he's
That's the effect I saw in that first poster that came out, which made me very, you know, interested.
like an artist.
Yes,
I mean,
And Sabu sir.
too good.
Oh, Sabu sir was.
Sabu sir is like quite a
Everyone
senior-
did great
The
job.
kind of technology he knows is
actually.
the
But I
boats,
saw
the way
him
the
touching
boats.
up.
Yeah.
I mean, the boats
blood
we
of
created
the
for this
guy's back.
movie.
Exactly.
You can literally not only see. Of course, we shot in tanks. Like man-made tanks. The boats were made, but the boats you can actually take use it into the actual sea. You can actually go into deep waters.
Yeah. So your interaction with water will be great, that means.
Yeah, so it's like going to school for me. See, learning a lot from Sabu sir. So when I told the story, see, he was telling, we'll create our own waves. I'll make boats, he's saying. So I was scared. How can you make a boat? All the stars on the boats. I don't know how the boat will be. No, I'll make boats are simple, he's saying.
But they were great,
So
the
they need to
boats.
slow
He's a legend. He also did Bahubali, right? So he's been doing it. I watch old films. What's that one old film I saw? Like big film it was for that time, and it had his name. I'm like, oh my god, he's working for such a long time.
They were massive. Like they weighed a lot also. Like original boats. That 35 days of underwater shoot is by far very complicated, and the kind of stuff we've done. So there is this shark creation which we've done, and there's this mad interaction between the protagonist and the shark.
Oh, nice.
That was very, very, very tough to pull off.
Top of it, the movement is not easy under the water.
Yeah.
It's again another challenge.
And the work and the problem is, Sandeep sir, only when you have the
Exactly,
swimming
sir.
goggles can you actually have a visual. But when you don't have that,
Yeah.
everything is blurred.
Yeah, and
So
it
for
will-
me, let's say there's this guy who's 10 feet away from me. So I'll have to swim literally, catch hold of him, do a flip, and then go out. So this whole shot is like about, let's say, about 15 to 18 seconds.
Yeah, it will take an entire day maybe.
So this shot, I mean, like when I'm going towards him, I can't see him. I'll have to exactly hold him,
Yeah.
at his neck.
It cannot look, jerky, right? He's trying to catch and it is missing, and that's not heroic, right? Heroic is he goes there and just catches him like that in water. Doesn't matter.
I know.
So it was.
Obviously, the way we
Very,
see
very,
as an
very
audience, you will not see while approaching. because
Absolutely
you're
not,
you're
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Because your work environment has been amazing. I mean, little care taken. We did a fight sequence where there was so much dust because of the arena that we'd put up. But someone put a big exhaust in.
Exactly, yeah.
So things like that make a big difference. I'd like to see more of that happening.
Yeah. Devara too.
No, just generally. Because
I'm done with dust.
your sets were one
done with
of
dust.
the best controlled of
That is, something I've heard a lot of people talk about. That, the way the set is designed, right? You want to make your actors most comfortable. Yes, everyone works, but they are on screen. What they look, feel, everything, that's what is telling the story. So you have to make them the most comfortable in the place. And as you say, right, the set is so comfortable, you give a better performance, Like it's like very simple. It's no rocket science.
on a human level, for even the staff.
Yeah, even on a discipline level, like I've never been on a set with as many extras as there were on this set in Goa and even in the Aida Puja sequence.
They shot in Goa and I had no idea. Like that's the worst.
So usually when you're shooting a song or this thing and you have so many people on set, there's always noise and chaos, and there's always the first AD screaming, "Okay, quiet, we're going for a take." There was just peace.
Yeah.
On this set, everyone was so
That's
disciplined.
an achievement, sir, actually.
And
to have that quiet set.
Coming from him, again as a filmmaker, only that person can actually, make sense out of that. That's how important it is.
Sir, how about the BGM? How excited you guys are about the BGM?
I'm
I mean,
always
I think
Anirudh's
the world
BGM.
knows what Anirudh is capable of, and
Yeah.
today I think it's not south or north anymore. I think the country itself is grooving for Anirudh's music right now. I think it's Anirudh's Hawa which is running all over, and he's just got this art of understanding a movie beautifully. I mean, he understands the movie, and the kind of background score which he's come up with for Devara, it's nothing less than any international movie. It's, in fact, I was actually making somebody listen to something, and they were like, "Oh my God, this feels like that Walt Disney's, symphony, like Hans Zimmer."
Is it recorded live from the
Yes.
orchestrated?
Yes,
which is
yes,
amazing.
yes.
We don't do that often enough.
So it's live music.
Interesting.
Amazing.
That's
And
interesting.
Background also.
he's done phenomenal. I mean, for him, I think.
He's so happy. He's so happy.
Yeah, he probably one fine day, I mean, like he would be a part of some international project where he's scoring background for it. And
Because I saw a glimpse which has the English lyrics, which gave me not because of English music, because of the instrumentation also, it gave me a very international feel.
International, different, no? And
Very juxtaposing feel for the Devara title and what's happening on the screen and the music. I really like
something so tribal.
Sandeep Reddy Vanga has really good music sense, and I think there have been videos, where he's talking to his music composer and just coming up with something, and he just exactly knows the music he wants. And I think even both Kabir Singh, Arjun Reddy, Animal, the music is on point. Chart, they are blockbuster songs, uh, chartbusters they are called. I don't know, and and the music works so flawlessly in the movie. Like there are people who said that Animal climax said why that song, but it's actually different. It's something new. It's refreshing.
With an international level. Interesting.
So it's he's phenomenal, Sandeep.
Exactly. For the bare glimpse,
Yeah.
Sandeep ji, I'm sure you agree. I think it is India's time to be up there and showcase what our capabilities are as actors, as technicians, as filmmakers.
Yeah.
So
He's
I think
been there.
It's our time. I mean, this we've waited for a very long period, and I think this is our time to show the world what Indian film is, and we're no less than any technician up there, and I think we're getting there.
But I love the characters in the film. All the characters. So anyway, visual will be a visual anyway. But trust me, you're going to enjoy the characters in the film.
That is
Rather
important.
than the world, actually.
Very strongly written character.
Yeah. All. Including the women. Women are too strong in the
Yeah,
film.
very strong.
Character-driven films are always interesting.
Always.
Yeah.
I personally like them.
Yeah.
I think it's the character which actually takes the movie forward. Of course, you're making and this, that.
Yeah.
But it's characters.
See, it's not like a regular hero, regular villain. They're all one family. The relationships between them, the conspiracies.
Yeah, थोड़ा बहुत leak हो गया. So sir, when you wrote
Something leaked? I don't know.
this, you first you thought the title is Devara and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no other option.
Yeah.
It sounded something,
I'm guessing Devara is like the father junior NTR, and he maybe goes missing or some dies or something, like a legend he has become, and he has some mystical powers associated, and then I think the story will be about his son. But Devara is the spiritual kind of protector of the place in a sense.
very positive to me and powerful also.
Yeah.
It's always Devara.
And especially when you have hidden so many things. Yeah. It is like, yeah.
So we actually didn't hide a lot.
Yeah.
But there are a few things which we definitely did.
Yeah.
We hid them, but
Yeah.
the greatest revelation for Devara 1 is what I'm actually waiting for. I want the audiences to actually, I can't wait for them to enjoy the main revelation of that movie.
Sir, I'll show, break me. I'll show one action episode of his.
All right.
It's called Simadri. I'll show you one fight,
Yes, please.
which was cut on a song. I'm very excited. It's been like,
Is it the SS Rajamouli one where they play a folk song where in the I actually reacted to also the documentary on SS Rajamouli. They talked about that we'll play that devotional song, and producer said what people will laugh. No, and no, let's try it, and it worked. Is it that one?
24 years, not 23 years.
Yeah,
it's still exciting.
But can I have to say something about him also? Let me just say, working with him, it was interesting. I worked with a lot of actors. And there was no kind of massive attitude or a persona off camera. He was a very normal, fun guy, came and made me very welcome, and we enjoyed fun chats and whatever. But on camera, when the camera is on, suddenly he seemed to grow taller and stronger. And I thought that's a remarkable quality, It was a really interesting quality. Yes. And then after cut, again, back to normal. But for that moment, it becomes larger than life. And I thought that was an interesting thing to watch. It was really, really...
It was really quite magical,
So you
honestly.
were wonderful, sir, on camera to say thank you for being
so much.
a lovely co-star and a wonderful lead.
It was truly great working with both of them, and of course everybody in this movie, all the actors have done a phenomenal job. But I love it, Actually, you really don't need to
Again, something is cut.
have titles anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
You
for
can't
Animal
film
Power, you can just say.
That's a Malayalam film.
Just say Ranveer Vanga 2.
Yeah.
Or RV2. I think that's
RV2 is a fact.
RV2, RSV. I think
I don't know.
Ranveer and Sandeep Vanga 2. I mean, we should get there.
No, it's a new title he's suggesting, actually.
I'm actually suggesting that.
I'm saying people love the idea. Title sometimes is secondary in the sense.
The first time when I came here to Bombay for an ad shoot, And I was really scared. You know, it was very intimidating because, oh my God, now that's Bollywood. Now, how's it going to be there? How are the technicians going to behave the same way Telugu technicians behave or South technicians behave? How is it going to be? It was very intimidating. I'm like, every time I used to come to Bombay, and then I still remember when I was here for RRR, I didn't have that kind of a baggage which I came before. Slowly for RRR, of course, you know, it was Rajmouli also who was there as a brother, as a friend, as a mentor, as a guide, as a director. Slowly, you know, they broke, you know, while promoting for RRR. And now, when I'm here today, promoting Devara, I really don't feel that Bombay is alien to me. You know, I was here for
It's experience, right? The more you visit and you get comfortable.
for
Yeah.
20 days in June. I was working for a movie here, and I don't know. It's just so it's not alien anymore. So there's so many unanswered questions. You know, you're intimidated.
Yeah.
And suddenly you just realize that, oh my God, it's all the
umbrella of
same.
cinema.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's just one umbrella of cinema. I'm sure you felt the same
Absolutely.
when you came to
No,
Hyderabad. And then
also
now it's like
more tense with the language. I knew the people were so welcoming and nice and lovely, but that now it just feels what's it called? The horizons have broadened. You know.
I mean, for you, sir, you know, you've done Arjun Reddy there, and Arjun Reddy was
on the set. You are
like Shiva said, it was a very radical movie. I mean, like for you from there to come here all of a sudden, and then you're here. You did Kabir Singh, and then all of a sudden you did Animal, and I really don't think that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you had that a little bit of that
Did you feel that hesitation,
intimidation,
sir?
maybe.
Nee, but not.
Interesting. Putting a question to
Just
you.
in the break, Shiva sir was asking Sandeep, how do you feel coming to Bombay? You feel like home? मैं बोला sir, 6-7 महीने से ऐसा लग रहा है. Because it's like almost I stayed like 4.5 years to 5 years.
5 years away.
Yeah, so in making 2 films, so yeah.
I started feeling like home in Hyderabad when Sir sent me food from his house. That's when I was like, I'm home now.
No, people feel that anyway you are a Telugu.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly,
So Sri Devi is from Telugu. Got
it
it.
feels like a homecoming. घर वापसी जैसे लग रही है.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that all these walls are broken, all these imaginary lines are just.
Yeah.
That's the greatest
away. I
thing.
think that's what-
It's amazing.
I think, sir, when you walk into the part 2, I think you'll be more
I do,
free.
but I'm
and-
already became free.
Yeah.
Like after a while, like it was. We shot quite a first day, obviously, and then easily.
True.
Quite confident, looking
Very
forward
much.
to.
Because we love actually him to be in the film. But I had a little thing because you know he looks like a rock star. See how he and
Sam.
Bhairav, you know, is completely different guy. So after the look test, you know, he's like my Bhairav.
Oh, yeah. But he had this one curly hair look also. It was
Yeah, there's a lot. There are two
a
looks.
killer look. It was, I really like that look. Yeah.
I like my short hair look also.
Yeah. People love that actually.
The young.
But this one's tough to pull off, sir. I mean, like this long hair one, it's. I mean, the first day when I saw him, I was like, whoa, that looks nice.
But today, makeup and hair technicians also have become so good.
So good.
They can just change.
Earlier wigs, you had these
You could
nets,
see the
you had
nets and all
to take it out, put that gum again and stick it, but now it's not that anymore.
You just sit on the chair and just listen to some music and read something, and they do that. After it's just ready. It was amazing.
Everything is fun in the film. The only pain in the film is only for me. It's Janhvi sending a message. You know, generally because being a writer, I try to develop some lines in the morning. Suddenly,
So it's like a spot development for some
you know,
lines.
suddenly I get an idea.
Yeah, suddenly you change a line and
Because I got used to that. But you know, once the schedule
Days
fixed.
come.
Sir, my lines, I get scared.
I was harrowing him every
Because he
day.
has to learn a line.
Yeah.
So he was
A new line is-
literally,
And I didn't want to do the coming on set and just saying anything or repeating what the person's saying off camera. I didn't want to do it like that. I wanted to do it as properly as I could.
No, I feel she can pull it off. Please don't ask me this because I know you'll learn faster. So once you come to Hyderabad for part 2 at least,
No, so I'll still send you messages, don't worry.
But your replies will be based on his last word suffix, right? That's how you remember. If suddenly in a flow you will change, then you're off, right? That's how it goes.
Have you
But
seen?
I
She understands.
Okay,
She understands.
Yeah,
She
I
understands the
understand.
intention.
Yeah.
Superb then, yeah.
And Sir would improv quite a bit. Even the other actors. It wasn't.
No, even Saif sir, he understands a lot. But he knows when to react properly.
Yeah.
So because once he knows the
ultimately-
scene, you know.
Yeah.
Forget the language, Sandeep sir. It's ultimately it's the expression.
Yeah.
See, that's what I feel. I said languages can be different, but expressions of
Yeah.
the emotion is always the same.
Yeah.
I still remember coming to Amritsar, and now we're sitting here.
Crazy.
For a narration, I think it was in shoot for some film in Amritsar.
Yeah, sir came in, sat very quietly down, peaceful, we've not met. And he said, I said,
Yeah, the interesting stories, how that meeting happened and all.
the pleasantries. I said, will you tell me the story or what? So he said, I'll have a glass of water, please. So he drank it and then took off. And then he was crying. Oh, lovely. I've seen artists do it a little, very few directors I've worked with. Some have done it, but where you act out the mother's lines and you've got tears in your eyes, she calls her son and she says, and you're there. And then he says, then your part, you stand up, you say this. And then so every emotion of every even female, older characters, younger characters was given. And I was just sitting there for 3-4 hours. I didn't even realize.
I actually got my narration over the phone, the first brief. It was over the phone and it was as riveting and moving as...
That's amazing.
It was amazing, honestly. It was a 1.5 hour long phone call.
Was it a video call at least?
No,
or
it was just his voice and it was... I was
Amazing. All right, this is the role. Wow.
I'm not just saying because I'm sitting here and talking to you as like an interview, but I'm really excited, huh? With all these inputs and yet to,
You're excited. You're interested. We are tensed. We are nervous. Because we've put in a lot of effort. Of course, at every movie, everybody puts the same amount of effort, but sometimes you just want something to just work, only for you to get that confidence to
Do
tell
it
a few
again.
more stories.
Yeah.
Deep-rooted stories. I think that's what we are waiting for, and hopefully on the 27th of September.
yes.
But thank you so much, Sandeep sir,
It's my pleasure meeting you all.
being here.
Interesting.
Yes, and I wish you a very good luck.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And you too, sir.
Waiting.
Thank you so much. All the best for your
Spirit.
next movie, Spirit, and many more to come.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah. First day, first show. Pakka.
Hanji, sir.
Yeah. I'll message you all.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I could sense a bit of, they are nervous. I think anyone with, movie coming would be nervous. I think the response I have seen, see, if you are watching from down south or, there'll be a lot of buzz. Especially in Telugu states, there'll be so much buzz. They are very excited. First day, first show. But the other part of the country, on social media, what I have gazed is that there's not that much hype compared to Kalki. Again, Prabhas has proven himself with Bahubali. He's become a big name. Of course, not Junior NTR is also a big name after RRR, but Prabhas, because as a leading hero, he has done it multiple times, so he's become a pan-India name. So that's not happened with Junior NTR that much, comparatively. And Saif is there. If the story works, I think South, I think the film will make money, irrespective, at least the first few days. If the film is good, it will continue. If it's not that promising, as we see some things in the trailer, but again, I think hearing them, I'm excited that they say action is cool and all, but it didn't look that cool. But the underwater scene could be really great. But the characters and the conflicts and the drama they're talking about, that may become very, very interesting. I know a lot of people have commented that the director's previous films haven't been that good and all of that. But what if this is what if this is a big project he wanted to do and it works out, and that's great. I know there's you don't know. These are films, when you see the trailer and are this is going to be very interesting, and it shows, it reflects in the trailer, even if you don't show much. But there are films you are unsure. This can go either way. It can be really good or it can be, not that great. So I think that's the worry for this film. I hope them the best, but it has to be on the merit, right? Just because they put in so much work and all, it should be great film. That's not how it works. People should be entertained and they have a good time, and they will, reward you. That's how it works. what I say, what others say, nothing really matters. But looking forward to it coming soon. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. And you can check out this video next. There'll be soon an interview of Alia and Devara joining together, so that'd be cool. We'll be reacting to that also, and I will see you next time.